every tree is different, even though there's the same forest. So if you use the tree to make the cask, every cask is different. Despite it's the same from the same distillery or from the same type of cask, same vintage, same years, it can still be a little bit different because in the end it's an organic product. I'm not sure it's just alcohol, but it's just more the experience. I think people like to explore different type of drinks. We had a little time where gin was very, very popular. A cocktail scene in Hong Kong is very good. And then now whiskey has been trending upwards for the last couple of years. Started my company in 2016 and I called it Whiskies and More. It started for me traveling a lot to whiskey festivals, trying out different whiskies. So I've been mainly to the bigger ones, which is in London, in Paris, a couple in Japan. So taste a lot of different whiskies, from very bigger commercial brands to also like more the single cask and the nitty-gritty type of whiskey as well. Last couple of years, there are so many new distilleries built around the world. So I've heard in Japan there are over like 140 distilleries now. It used to be just like maybe 40. So I try to go to these festivals to try new things. And each new distillery have their own concept. They have their own thinking of the whiskey making. But they started to do whiskies with Japanese barley, so it gives a little different flavors. And what I really like about the distilleries is they actually also support their own community. So within the Shizuoka prefecture, they've been sourcing their barley from there. So there's so many different parameters that can influence the taste of whiskey. Therefore it's very interesting. You can keep on learning non-stop. So once I started the distribution side, a lot of my friends are like, oh, hey Hil, I really love what you do, but how can I get a bottle? And I realized, oh yeah, I need a retail outlet for it. So therefore I created the online shop Timeless and Tasty, because back then, 8 years ago, there was not really a platform where you can just easily plug and play and just put your products in, or at least very expensive. But we also create a list where we think these are good whiskies that are worth trying. They're already available in Hong Kong. What we try to do is just find the little gems that's good value for money for everyone to try. Both companies are owned by me, and every new venture is a big challenge to start. I had no prior experience in food and beverage, nor have I ever worked in Hong Kong. My background is in finance and I worked in London. But that helped me to start to build a structure. But in particular, I felt as a woman, it was even harder. Back then, 8 years ago, whiskey was not that well known yet, in Hong Kong at least. I was asked often, like, do you actually like whiskey, or are you just like a salesperson with a product sheet and then just come and sales? And bubbles should be more like a female drink. And I was a little bit put off with that, because for me, why I started this company is just because I'm so passionate about whiskey. And I truly believe that if I would be a male, I would have gained much more or much faster respect as a whiskey expert, or had more opportunities to do various projects in Hong Kong. But having said that, I must say I'm very, very happy to see that in these 8 years, a lot has changed, especially in the food and beverage industry. A lot more female bartenders, a lot more female experts, just in general, consumers. In my tasting, used to be always 80% male, 20% female, but now sometimes it's 50-50. So I like to host events because in-person events you can always share your experience or tell the stories about the bottle. Because if you just look online, you can read about it, but you don't really get the actual feeling. The bottle that I did for my anniversary last year. So this is like a single cask whiskey, a part cask. The label, when I tasted a sample for the first time, I tasted ripe fruits. Really makes me feel summery, sweet, a little bit vanilla. So this year we celebrated our 8-year anniversary already, because that's in September. And I selected this one, which is a 20-year Secret Highland. For this one, it's quite interesting. It brings me back to my experience when I was a kid. So in Holland, we go to camps in the beginning of the school year. That smell of walking through the forest with wet leaves, it's really, for me, a big memory. When all the kids were excited about it because it's the first time you go to school, meet your new classmates, and that is a little bit what I got from this whiskey. It reminds me of that fun moment in life. So I hope with this whiskey I can actually get other people to reminisce their experiences. I actually categorize my products. I have 5 groups, so floral and delicate, fruity and fresh, sweet and dreamy, spicy and fiery, smoky and strong. So I like to host in-person events because then we can actually chat about what do you feel in this whiskey and what do I feel. I believe that tasting notes are very personal. There's no right or wrong in what you feel, what you find in a whiskey, and that's what I like about it, because every tasting I go to, I still learn something from my guests too.